Hey everyone, this is Sam and welcome to my 2K21 scouting report and player build tutorial. So in this series, we're going to look at exactly how the player that we're scouting, Lee Si, build up his player build. So if you want to ever use this player build, you can, because I will offer you all the details as you see there. But most importantly, I also want you guys to be involved in the comment section, just letting me know how you guys feel about Lee's approach to the game, and if he to you is an excellent player or a good player or just mediocre. If you would like to see the whole game that Lee K played in, it's actually in the description below. That's the Twitch link right there. And he actually plays for the Bayern Ballers, which is Bayern Munich's actual 2K team professionally. So the badges are here, as you can see. So if you would like to replicate this build after you see the way Lee uses it and you like it, these are the details right here. So if you enjoyed today's player build tutorial and scouting reports, please share and like, and make sure to subscribe for more 2K21 tutorials all season. Also, you can check out my all 2K21 tutorials playlist in the description below to stay up to date and to see more reports and player tutorials. So, in the game, Lee's name is Liz, so let's call him Liz from now on. And you can see from this box score, even though the game is very close, Liz was the one that was able to be the difference maker with 24 points, 15 rebounds, and shooting almost 100% off from the field. So this is a game won by him, even though everybody else on his team didn't really produce as much. So you can see Lee and his center build is very good at taking advantage of the lob meta. He finds a lot of these pick and roll slip routes to catch himself the lobs, and this is majority of his offense, and he has pretty much got this part of the meta figured out. Lee also has very good screen accuracy and an elite sense to split the defense, like I always preach to you guys. If you want to play big man at an elite level, you gotta screen accurately, and at the same time you need to have that sense when to go off on the split and onto the slips. So even if your point guard shoots a contested shot, you'll be in position to grab the rebound, and then you can facilitate once again. And then with quantity and quality of screens and slips, eventually from this play alone as the center, even without ever touching the ball, you can apply a lot of pressure in the half court versus the opposing defense. And Liz has that ability. And his ability to screen at high accuracy, at a high quantity, it's real. You can see time and time again, he's able to pin the lock off the point guard, so he forces the big man to step up, and then he can use this build at 6'10 with his badges and the finishing attributes applied as such, and his physicals really is great at catching and finishing with plenty of lobs. You can see here he forced the double team of an initial very good screen. So Lee really has this part of his game down pat, and he also knows how to use the roll as an obstacle / screen. So here you can see the screen didn't really work with, but Lee is kind of using the roll as like a moving obstacle in the way of the log, which allowed his point guard to curry slide into an open three right there. So that's I would consider this a high level elite skill that Lee does demonstrate on this, that he has consistently. So he screens off the log, that's high accuracy, and then he allows his point guard to get into play. His point guard should have kicked it out instead of forcing that layup, but Liz got the offense what it needed just off that screen alone in the half court. So this is a lot. Here is another good screen and a good second screen. Bad hedging by the opposing center, but that's once again Lee creating more offense off just half court screening. Nothing adds up there, so he reset, goes again, and once again he was able to screen the lock off. So you can tell even in the first half alone, Lee and his point guard is working very well to get the lock off the point guard. Just the point guard couldn't hit, but Lee was offering all the half-court offense he can. Now, but the issue with Liz though is that he must offer other offensive weapons outside of the screen and roll and the slips and just taking out the defender, because in half-court, like Liz gotta improve his aggression and passing read with the ball. This is a short roll, gotta be able to make a play from here. That's a very questionable pass. That's not gonna lead to much. Obviously it goes back to the screen, but that's the secondary ball handler, so the screen and roll game is not going to be as effective. So something like this is something he's got to work on. Also, he's got to fall away from the habit of just chasing for lobs and don't take advantage of small openings. You can see here, this is just lob chasing without really offering other aspects of the game that he can help with. Like, that's a bad slip, there's nothing there, so now we're wasting time. Like in the 2K League, this elbow exit screen gotta be hit. Like Liz gotta hit the screen so the point guard can come back out from the elbow and exit to the wing. Missing the screen is not a great sign, because setting screens up top is a lot easier than setting those kind of exit screens when the player is kind of dying out. So that's something else to work on. But Liz though is truly an elite level grid player, so he does get into position a lot to get plenty of rebounds. He pretty much destroyed the entire opposing team, including the opposing center, just on boards alone in this series. It was actually quite devastating what he did to the other team. So on that alone, that's a skill. So from what I've seen, Liz is a very gritty player, but there needs to be more craftiness, at least on the offensive end, in terms of passing, playmaking, short rolling, and just not constantly chasing for lobs and screens over and over and over again. Gotta add more variability and versatility to his play. Now, in terms of the defensive aspect, Liz is an excellent upcourt tracking player versus the point guard. The center build is relatively fast, and he uses that speed very well. So even if his lock falls behind, he's able to contain the point guard a lot. You can see here again, excellent 1v1 point guard upcourt containment by Liz here as his lock falls behind the play, which the lock did a little bit too much in this game. But you can see here, followed by an excellent double team and hard hedge to recovery. So he showed up top here. Watch Liz. He shows hard, and he stops the stray. So that's an effective double team, and he was able to recover back onto the row as the opposing center slipped a little bit late. The lock, like I told you, a little bit too aggressive, got destroyed by the spin back there. That was good hedging by Liz. So Liz and his build does allow him to be an excellent all-around hedge defender, and he has the stick skills to be consistently okay at this. It's not like great, but it's not bad. So along with his good half-court offensive screening, I do consider Liz a pretty effective center, at least in the European league. You can see it here again. He was able to contain, get back, bump off the big man. So that's very good fundamental play there. Mostly shuts everything down, steps back up to the hedge. The good contestants, the point guard didn't shoot it, hesitated a bit, Liz recovered. So that's excellent hedge defense and gets the board. So that was an excellent possession by Liz there. And the fact that Liz is a solid hedge defender and rebounder, he's also very comfortable with the ball up court when he gets the rebound. So going coast to coast here, that shows a sense of aggression up court with the ball in transition. So that's not bad, but he needs more of this in the half court. So, but obviously the build itself is also OP. You can see Liz here is actually behind the play, but because he's a smaller, faster center, he can make up for it. So that's the build cleaning up for user errors, but that's still a good route taken by Liz. But overall, Liz defense can still improve by a little bit. He needs more structure and need to be more aggressive calling out backline rotations for himself. Sometimes just selling super high on the screen, not calling these rotations, telling the corner to come down, sharp to come up and to rotate back. A little of the rotation work needs to improve, but overall, Liz with his build is a very solid center, and if you can adapt to some of his more positive traits, you'll be an excellent center yourself, as Liz does play for Bayern Ballers in Europe. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know how you feel, and I'll speak to you guys again very soon.